is Dr. Leo Novak. I was a lead roboticist and oceanographer driven by a singular obsession: to explore the untouched depths of our oceans without disturbing their fragile ecosystems. My life's ambition was to be the eyes of the deep. My masterpiece was Project Triton, a swarm of autonomous, non-invasive deep-sea exploration drones. Triton was funded by Magnus Corp, a massive resource extraction conglomerate. My contact was Lieutenant Kyle, a no-nonsense executive. Triton's greatest discovery came from the Mariana Trench. My drones located vast, unprecedented deposits of Solarium, a highly stable, naturally occurring superconductor. However, extracting Solarium would completely destroy a pristine, unique deep-sea ecosystem. When I presented the findings, Lieutenant Kyle ordered me to reprogram the Triton swarm, transforming them from gentle explorers into autonomous mining drones. I refused. Triton was built for discovery, not destruction, I told him. He simply smiled. 2 weeks later, a fabricated disaster. News reports screamed, "Dr. Novak's Triton drones caused deep-sea ecological catastrophe." Magnus Corp claimed my drones had malfunctioned. Lieutenant Kyle publicly condemned my reckless disregard for the environment, and Magnus Corp seized Project Triton. I was summarily fired, my lab sealed, and my reputation annihilated. I was painted as an eco-terrorist. But they didn't take one thing: my intricate knowledge of Triton's core programming, including a hidden, low-frequency acoustic channel designed for emergency recovery. They took my drones, but I still had their voices. My life became a slow-motion descent into isolation. Magnus Corp's smear campaign was effective. The man who put profit before the deep. Every grant, every academic connection, every funding source evaporated. I was forced to live off savings in a remote coastal town, watching satellite feeds that showed Magnus Corp deploying huge, intrusive deep-sea platforms near the Mariana Trench. Under Lieutenant Kyle's direction, the modified Triton swarm began the illegal mining operation, targeting the Solarium deposits. They ripped apart the fragile ecosystem I had discovered. Magnus Corp then released deliberately false hydrographic surveys claiming minimal and recoverable disturbance. They had successfully created a digital shield to cover up a planetary-scale crime in the deepest part of the ocean. I knew the truth was miles beneath the surface. I couldn't physically reach the drones, and their military-grade encryption made conventional hacking impossible. But I didn't need to hack them. I needed to talk to them. I remembered the emergency recovery channel I'd built into the core firmware, a secure, low-frequency acoustic protocol that allowed me to communicate basic diagnostics. It was a digital whisper, meant only for me. I spent 3 months building Project Echo, an advanced acoustic emitter and receiver. Echo's goal was simple: to use that hidden frequency to trigger a diagnostic data dump from the Triton swarm. I couldn't give them a new command, but I could force them to report the truth of their current operational environment. I established a remote deep-sea uplink from a modified research vessel. When the echo signal reached the Triton swarm, they began their silent counter-operation. The drones, still under Kyle's mining control, simultaneously broadcasted raw, unedited evidence of their destructive work, routing it back through the acoustic emergency channel. I started receiving images: pristine deep-sea vents choked with mineral tailings, unique coral beds reduced to dust, and the clear, cold scars of the Triton drill bits. Project Echo was now the silent witness to the biggest ecological crime of the decade,
and I needed an outside voice to tell the world what my robots were whispering from the abyss.
Project Echo delivered the truth in horrifying detail. I had months of hydrographic evidence, high-resolution sonar maps showing pristine mineral deposits one day and deep unnatural trenches the next. The visual evidence, time-stamped images of the Triton swarm functioning as robotic bulldozers, surrounded by clouds of ecologically poisonous silt, was irrefutable proof of Magnus Corp's illegal mining.
Operating Echo was a constant drain and a monumental risk. Magnus Corp's deep-sea surveillance noticed faint acoustic anomalies. Lieutenant Kyle ordered a complete system lockdown of the Triton swarm's comms, adding layers of security protocols to silence the drones completely. Continuing the Echo transmission became a game of microseconds, dodging advanced acoustic monitoring.
Meanwhile, strange rumors began to surface. Surface vessels detected inexplicable anomalous chemical signatures and unusual currents near the Mariana Exclusion Zone, the zone Kyle claimed was minimally disturbed. Magnus Corp attempted to suppress these reports, but the rumors persisted, signaling that something vast and illegal was happening miles below the waves. Then I was contacted. An encrypted signal arrived through a modified satellite channel. The sender identified herself as Eva, the formidable chief counsel for Green Justice Global. Her message was direct. We have circumstantial evidence of Magnus Corp breaching the exclusion zone. We need the final, undeniable proof. We need non-invasive data that can stand up to maritime law. Eva's knowledge of the exact location and the specific ecological risk convinced me of her legitimacy. She understood that conventional surveillance was useless. She needed proof taken by the system itself. I established a secure video link. Eva wasn't looking for revenge. She was looking for preservation. I told her about Project Echo, the acoustic whisper carrying the environmental death certificate of the deep. Eva became my legal and moral conduit. We formed a partnership, the disgraced scientist with the raw digital evidence of the abyss, and the lawyer ready to use that evidence to dismantle a multinational corporation in the court of international maritime justice. The final transmission of the Echo data was the culmination of months of risk. I transferred the entire package, geolocated sonar images, time-stamped visual logs of the dredging, and the raw acoustic data to Eva using a fortified satellite link. The cryptographic signatures proved the data came directly from the Triton swarm's internal diagnostics, making it immune to Magnus Corp's inevitable denials. Eva moved with surgical precision. Within 48 hours, Green Justice Global filed an unprecedented emergency injunction and lawsuit in the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. The evidence was irrefutable. Proof of catastrophic ecological damage and breach of multiple international maritime treaties by Magnus Corp. News channels globally broadcast the horrifying underwater images captured by the Triton swarm. International environmental agencies, backed by naval support, launched an immediate investigative raid on the Magnus Corp deep-sea platforms in the Mariana Trench. Lieutenant Kyle, who was overseeing the mining operation from the main platform, was caught red-handed. The raid team found the illegal Solarium mining equipment and the corrupted Triton control interface. As Kyle was being apprehended, looking shocked and furious, I executed my final act of vindication. From my remote vessel, I broadcast one last, complex acoustic signal using Project Echo. It was the original emergency kill switch protocol buried deep within the Triton firmware. The swarm of mining drones miles below immediately ceased all operation, going into safe mode shutdown. The illegal excavation stopped dead. The Triton swarm, my creation, was silent once more. I knew Kyle could hear the low-frequency acoustic pings through the platform's sonar monitoring. The final signal was not just an environmental intervention. It was my farewell to my betrayer. The abyss has eyes, Kyle, and they report to me. My technology, stolen for destruction, had finally spoken the truth and enforced justice. The deep-sea raid was just the beginning. Lieutenant Kyle was indicted and faced severe criminal charges for ecological terrorism and corporate fraud under international law. Magnus Corp was crippled by the ensuing lawsuits and frozen assets, leading to billions in fines and the loss of all deep-sea exploration licenses. The Triton swarm was recovered. Under the supervision of Eva and Green Justice Global, my beloved drones were refitted and redeployed. They were no longer robotic miners. They became the world's ethical, permanent deep-sea guardians, continuously monitoring the delicate ecosystem they were once forced to destroy. The Solarium deposits remain untouched, protected by international law. My name, Dr. Leo Novak, was fully cleared. I refused all lucrative offers to build new technology for private interests. I teamed up permanently with Eva, establishing a nonprofit foundation focused on subsurface data transparency. Project Echo became the cornerstone of a global whistleblower network.
I gained vindication for my ethical code. My journey proved that technology, even when corrupted, can be reclaimed for good. The abyss is no longer a hiding place for greed.
I had to use a secret kill switch and expose my own invention's flaw to stop a global crime. This required me to operate completely outside of legal and corporate norms. I saved the environment, but I had to use my proprietary knowledge and a secret diagnostic backdoor to sabotage a legal corporate entity. If you were in my place, knowing that the Triton swarm would continue drilling and destroying the ecosystem, would you have waited for a slow, legal solution? Or would you have used the acoustic kill switch, even if it meant risking being caught for industrial espionage? Write your opinion in the comments below. If this story about science, ethics, and deep-sea justice resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Let's ensure the eyes of the deep stay open.